You ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, welcome to the Greatness Podcast brought to you by Sky Insurance Brokers. I am your host, Eric Scholey, and with me as always,
Brie Milani.
yes, he was actually usually the head host, but I'm just jumping into
It's a good break
the company this one, yes.
Your turn.
So today we have a special guest with us, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Zach Ryan,
That's me,
or Ryan,
as 90% of people mistakenly call me, yes.
of Ryan Real Estate Group. And for people that are able to see or witness what we are doing right now, we are doing the podcast live in his office, which is, I will go out on a limb and say, personally, the most unique real estate office I have ever been in.
I would have
To
to
be
agree.
fair, this is our upstairs bar with Uncle Si in the background. This
Yeah.
is not where we do most of our business, but close enough. That's right downstairs where the admin is undisturbedly conducting business while we do this mayhem.
They have
Always
no
working.
idea we're here.
Always working. Yeah, I'm looking at Cy staring at me with, I know it's sweet tea, but I like to think of it as a Long Island iced tea since it's a Friday.
You know, there's a good chance that show was never really clear on that,
Yeah, he looks
But
like he's
hey.
feeling pretty good.
as I would say.
Well, thank you for joining us, my friend, and excited to get you on our show because I know you're doing great things in the real estate industry, very unique things. So I'm excited to hear your story and give you a chance to tell it. So just want to start off for all the listeners, just share a little bit about you personally, things you like to do, family, hobbies, things that are not really work related.
Boy, that's an interesting journey. So I am 30 years old, which means for the last 10 years, it's been a massive journey to figure out who the hell I was and what I was doing. So, gosh, I mean, let's
So you're
just go-
finally feeling grown up, is what I'm hearing.
Ooh, I'm considering it.
No,
I'm
okay,
looking
good
at
answer,
it.
good answer.
Looking at it down in the future. So I don't know if we just jump back 10 years ish. I graduated from Chico State. Was big involved into a 4-wheel drive club. So the off-road world has been a thing of mine there. Doing that, and got married to God bless her soul, the Mrs. Ryan that gave in and married me. And so with that, I mean, it's just been a wild ride. I mean, I've been in this industry for almost 6 years, but it was get married, sell her house, buy a house, sell my house, quit my job for the state, become a real estate agent, build that business, get pregnant. She quit her job. We went full-time real estate. She's now home. My daughter will be 2 in May.
Oh, I didn't know she was in real estate as well.
No, she was not. So she quit her job and I went full-time real estate.
Okay.
Exactly. So over the last 5
she
years
ran
has
the
been
show,
a massive amount of change. And our daughter will be 2 in May. So as far as what I like to do for fun has changed drastically.
Absolutely.
As my life
I can
has
relate
changed.
to you on every level in that sense.
Exactly.
We go to the zoo a lot.
Camping's a big
Camping's
thing now,
a big
right? I mean, tonight
thing.
you're camping.
And even
Yeah.
as building a business, what you do for fun is build your business, right? So that your family can be home and enjoy the things they love to enjoy. And my wife was a kindergarten teacher, so these
nice.
early years with our daughter, I mean, she's a freaking genius. She's surpassed me on
She's
about.
built for it, though.
She's,
Yeah.
my daughter surpassed me on just about. I mean, she counts higher than I do, that's for sure.
Yeah. Rips
So-
out Common Core math on you, and you don't even know where you're at.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So I have a accounting degree, but she's already passed me up in that, I think, as well. So I don't know. So I don't know. The whole hobbies thing is a fascinating thing. I think at this stage of my life, honestly, it's figuring out how to match my business with giving back to other real estate agents, other industries, and the community. Like we have a huge car show coming up here that we're doing right down the road for How to Love Our Cops, right? So it used to be, I've owned 30-something vehicles in my life. Classic cars was my hobby. I became a husband and a father and a business owner, and all of a sudden I've been figuring out how to match what I loved with my business. So I would say the latest hobby is if I'm not working on my business, I'm working on a way that my business can help others.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
good. Yeah, I know the auto's a big part because you have quite a few unique work vehicles.
Well,
right?
we talked about your Jeep, and
You were one of the people I call when I need to start looking for parts
trying
for
to
my
get your
Jeep.
roof rack
Yeah.
on there. Yeah, no, it's in fact we were supposed to have a
Thank you, Jason
66
Untoon.
Ford. That's right. Way to throw that out there. We're supposed to have a 66 Ford out at the car show, but then I decided it was time for me to move, and so I've been getting my house ready to sell, and that's gone on the. But as a team, we sponsor a race car, and we have a Polaris RZR that we use to help clients, and so auto is definitely a thing. We've got
Classic truck, right? That you're going to be working
yeah,
on.
and that's the one that was supposed to be at the car show. Is not going to make it because I decided it was time to sell my house, and it got put on the back burner.
Sure.
But so that's always been a thing. But I think it's been weird and interesting and fun to grow through my 20s and figure out that there's a way to pursue hobbies in a way that really helps the community more than just burning cash as a young kid, like I used to do.
Yeah, enjoyable to do. And I know on the hobbies, you're also, would you consider yourself a mountaineer or a hobby hiker? I mean, what would
Wow.
you classify yourself?
I didn't know
I know
this side of
earlier
you.
we were talking, and you were
Wow.
saying hiking backpacks, and I think you used the S at the end, which means there's multiple.
So that's aggressive. So again, that's what's funny, right?
I shoot from the hip sometimes. You know how I roll.
Going through your 20s and into your 30s and having young kids, how do you define what are your hobbies, right? So I've done a lot of backpacking. I've been to Moab mountain biking. A lot of things I love. This stage of life is a lot of planning around nap time and diaper changes. So,
Amen to that.
there we go. She's got me.
That's Bree's world.
That's my
yeah, I'm
life.
just coming out of that. Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're out of that stage.
So that's the thing. And this is our first kid, and we expect more to come. So,
Just wait.
Love it. So we're adjusting to that as we, and I don't know, even that, like, I don't know who's listening to this podcast. Maybe it's 4 people, maybe it's 4,000. But
I think last time was about 2.7 million, so we'll
Boom.
try to
Pressure.
cap that one after this one.
so just the idea that, I don't know, I think that's a weird question a lot of people ask themselves. It's like, who am I? Who was I? Who am I going to be? And if there's a time that your life changes as I drop my stress ball on the ground, it's that time when you've
Sure.
got young kids that suddenly have all the say in the world.
Life's
Yeah.
not about you anymore.
No.
I mean, just last night, I'm picking up my daughter. It's almost time for bed, and she's like wanting to play, and I pick her up, and she's like, "Daddy, to the bedroom. Daddy, pick up my milk. Daddy, let's brush teeth." I'm like, "Geez, okay,
Yeah.
you're right, but hold on a second, Hitler."
They dictate your whole life.
Your
Stop
name's
being so
Harper, not
demanding as you're
Hitler.
reaching
Let's
down and
calm
grabbing the
down
juice
for a
off the
minute.
ground, yeah.
I mean, it's aggressive. So I don't know. We're in that funny phase where I guess I'm curious to see what my hobbies are when I come out of.
Eric, give us some advice.
Yeah, Eric, you're
Oh, no,
further down the road.
No, believe me, I'm still wrapped around
You
my
have
daughter's
3
fingers.
gray
Sure.
hairs of wisdom. I
Yeah,
can see.
no, exactly. A lot of gray hair, but yeah, no, definitely my daughters still run my life for
Yeah.
sure.
Kick me that stress ball though, Eric. It's gonna drive me crazy. It's
I
right
know
there on
it
your
is.
foot. Oh yeah, it's good
is.
content.
Come back your way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can't hear it, but
It's there.
it
helps.
helps. I love it. That's my admin. Stress
All right,
balls
let's take
are
a step back. 'Cause I know you said, 6 years ago you got into real estate?
February will be 6 years
Okay,
from
fantastic.
whenever the hell this airs.
And you work for the state,
Yes.
and you have an accounting degree.
We are
So
literally the same person. My husband has an accounting
You know what's
degree,
funny?
and he works
You
for the
guys,
state.
if you can't see us, you can tell that
We're
we
pretty
get
much-
mistaken a lot.
I was
the
gonna say, I
time.
don't even, it's like two
Oh yeah, the
doppelgangers
two of
here.
us. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's going on?
doppelgangers.
Yeah.
Eric's
they
constantly
called
getting
me.
confused.
Yeah,
Yes. Who am I
Beautiful
talking to?
hair.
we are like my husband is you in a sense. He does
Oh, so
had
you mean
accounting.
your husband and I, not you.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
okay,
I meant
that's
like
good.
our lives are the same. Young kids, yeah, the whole state gig. Oh man, talk about gray hair. I was so ready for my husband to get out of the state, so I don't blame you for getting out of there.
Yeah.
So an analytical accountant, state worker, decides
It's the nicest
I'm going
thing
into-
called anal I've ever heard.
going into
before.
real estate. Decided I'm going into real estate. Let's take a step back and walk us through that journey, or what really transpired and made you want to make that shift, and really, I would say, not jump in with 2 feet, but maybe can opener or cannonball in, right? From 15 feet or higher. I mean, you've really gone all in on this industry. So
Yeah, so degree in accounting was really based on what I had strengths in, what I felt made sense. I had a college fund, so I was blessed to have the opportunity to go to college. So it was like, well, that'd be kind of dumb not to use it. I should do it. And growing up as a kid, my dad at one point had a fishing and hunting business that just didn't pan out, and he fell back on his finance degree. So, he had a background in a similar world, and today he's a CFO. For a large nonprofit. And so I saw the benefit of having a degree that then you have something to fall back on. So from day one, I mean, when I say day one, let's say this. At 11 years old, I think is when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Great
So I mean,
book.
so the concept of like, okay, let's not just work for money. Let's let money work for us was ingrained at a young age. But I also watched the benefits of having classical training, if you will, of a college degree and being able to fall back on that. So I enjoyed math. I was good at math. I'm incredibly analytical to a fault, frankly, in real estate. So I first went into that.
Okay.
I got the accounting degree. And really what led me, I'm just going to jump ahead as Eric has questions, but I think I can guess them.
Well, we're firing off, and if you say that, I will now shoot from left field.
I was
You're
going
in
to say,
trouble the rest of the way.
don't let
challenge
me
me on this. Don't
you
challenge
let me
me.
talk, you're done. Just so you guys all know, if Eric and I are together, it's going to be a 14-hour podcast.
Yes.
I'm just here.
But yeah, so I had a family friend who worked for the state that could kind of coach me on what it looked like to get a job at the state. And one thing that I learned when I did research that said, hey, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to own a business, but you have a college degree, it's not a bad idea to get a job using your degree.
Sure.
So you have some bit of experience. So if you want to be able to fall back on that degree, but you've never done it, and it's 10 years later, good luck. So I had the opportunity to take a shot at state work, and frankly, it was a less competitive time than it is now.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't a wonderful candidate, but less competitive didn't hurt me. And so I became an auditor for the state. I was a sales tax, so I covered Colorado and West.
Okay.
Audited large companies like Starbucks, if you've heard of them.
Never.
Yeah,
I think I've heard of them once
Yeah.
or twice. Yeah.
yeah. There's
Here and
one somewhere around here.
Yeah. Somewhere. Throw a rock, you'll find it. Okay. So nice. So and then so you decide to get into real estate and just
Well, so that's where I
training.
started, right? And then I real estate was always a passion. So during college, I read a lot of books about investing in real estate and figuring out what that might look like. It was a passion of mine that I always thought would be kind of a side thing. Back to the Rich Dad Poor Dad concept. I mean, real estate is an incredible investment opportunity and something that maybe requires less day trading than a lot of things. So it was an interest of mine. And then when I got married, we both owned a home. We both had a good job. It was kind of my opportunity to make a jump and say,
Sure.
do I want to travel 2 to 3 weeks a month? At that time, my wife didn't want me to. I'd ask you not to ask her today. Maybe she'd be more in favor of that. But anyway, so I was looking for a change. And to switch from auditing people like Starbucks to local, where you're going into a local mom and pop shop, God, I did not want to do that. I didn't care for my job a lot before.
Yeah.
I didn't like being the guy that's the dreaded phone call, even though I was there to help people. Our job was to make sure you paid what you owed, nothing more. So it also, for me, involved a lot of refunds. And, I mean, I'll say not all auditors looked for refunds. And to me, my job was to make sure correct tax was paid.
Good way to look at it.
But because of the reputation, you were met with animosity a lot.
Right.
And that was not something that is what I wanted. So let alone if you go to in-state and you're going right down the street from you and doing that to people. It just wasn't my thing. So I'll stay out of politics and tax theory, but was not my jam. So anyway,
Good transition time for you.
yeah. So basically we said, hey, I don't want to travel and I don't want to do that. And we sold both of our houses when we bought my house. My wife made good income at the time. And so we said, let's jump. So Steve Ray, my father-in-law, if you ever catch this podcast, I feel bad if you had a heart attack in that time. Here he married his youngest daughter off to a state government employee, and then
like, I
within
did
6
something
months,
good.
I quit and started my own business.
You saw you sold stability and then pulled the rug right out
Exactly,
from under
just
him
bait and
moments
switch,
later.
bait and switch. It was brutal. So anyway, but real estate was always a passion, and when in that process of selling her house, buying our current house, selling my house, we just really realized it's something I had a gift and an interest for.
Good. That's
So
great.
so it was my wife that was like, maybe you should just do that, and I was like, oh, huh.
I like
All
that.
right, I guess.
like it.
When you're a new married guy, you just do whatever your wife says.
Yes, I agree. I think if you're an old married guy, you're supposed to do what your wife says, right?
Oh, no.
No, no.
Need to train my
work at your house?
husband.
Doesn't work at your house that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say if
That's fine.
Bree's husband is listening,
Yeah.
Take notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No comment.
So that the Rich Dad Poor Dad, that was a phenomenal book. I dove so far into it that I decided to collect because remember you became a big thing and started writing a book for basically every.
do you have the board game?
I do. Have I played the board game? No.
Well, no, I just asked if you had it.
I do have it. Have I
If you guys
played
don't
it?
know,
No.
Eric here has he's got Gary Vee shoes. He's got Robert Kiyosaki board game.
Oh, I
You're
was
gonna
all
break into
in on Rich Dad Poor
If you're
Dad.
gonna break into a boring ass office for boring ass office memorabilia, He's
Go
the
there.
man.
Go there.
He's the man.
Yes, I
Am I
have.
allowed to say ass on this podcast? I know the rules.
You just
there.
did, and we're rolling with it. No,
It's
editing on
like
that,
4 or
so
5
nice
of them.
work.
We're in
Nice
trouble.
work. Okay, so starting in the industry,
You didn't
then,
give me any ground rules.
No.
This is rough.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's just a loose animal, and that's how we like it. So I know in sales in general, real estate as well, not a good success rate for the first 2 or 3 years for agents, right? So what were your first few years like when you made that transition?
So I don't know. So I started in February. I think that first, that same calendar year, I don't even know. I mean, honestly, this is what's lucky, if you will, right? Like we didn't have to provide anything with that. So I don't know, 10 deals or 8 deals or.
First year?
I mean, but I guess somewhere they would consider decent, right? So
Yeah.
then they count for like rookie of the year and all that crap is first full calendar year. So I cheated, right? Because I started in February. So my second year, like full calendar year, I had like 10-month head start. And thank God I did, because let me tell you. So I got rookie.
You went ROI?
I got rookie of the year.
Nice,
Oh yeah. Oh
nice.
yeah. I like your ROI. That throws me off. I'm like,
I know, I
return
was
on
like, what's
investment.
that?
I have an accounting
No.
degree.
No, I used to collect baseball cards. So I used to have that, that emblem on the little crown. And
All right, time for the shout out.
Tops. Yeah.
Time for the shout out. If this guy doesn't listen to this podcast, he sucks because he's an agent on my team now. Matthew Welling. We spent so many years reorganizing our baseball cards
Yes.
at either
So
my
you know
parents' house.
the-
Oh yeah,
you
back
know,
in the
you know
day.
the little trophy thing I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, and if
Yes.
we were at his house, his brother would eat all the bacon. He knows what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, there were problems there. So
Good.
if Matt doesn't bring this up to me, I'm gonna call him out. I'm not gonna tell him.
Let's do it.
Should
He has
send
to
him the
listen
link
to
to
it.
the podcast and be like,
If you're
listen to
really
it.
generous,
Yeah.
you could look up Matt
We'll
Welling.
send it to him in
He's
Jump
on
Drive.
my team. You could send it to him.
Okay.
We'll see
I
how
will.
long it takes him to listen to
To
it. This will
listen
be
to
good.
it. Okay.
But yeah, so I was rookie of the year, but I only did $5 million that first full calendar year. So at that time, Masters Club in Placer
Only,
County.
no big deal. Your first year.
I guess. I mean, gosh, in these days markets, right? That seems like nothing. So Placer County to be top, 10%? What do they call Masters Club? I think it's 10%.
I have no idea.
I think it
I think
is
it's
10.
10%. Was $4.5 million. I did $5 million, and my goal that year was, hey, if I do $5 million, I could get Masters Club, Realty One, my
You
brokerage.
went ROI and green jacket first year.
There were no jackets,
Masters.
which is why you'll see later I joined the Moose Lodge because they have jackets,
Okay.
but I've also struggled to acquire that there. Yeah, we can get in that if you want. But so I thought, hey, $5 million will get me Masters Club, Realty One, my brokerage recognized you at $5 million or above. So that would be 2. What's the third? There was Rookie of the Year, Masters Club, and Realty One's $5 million. So those are the 3 I aimed for that
Nice.
first calendar year, and I got them.
That's
Fantastic.
awesome.
That is incredible. That's a nice little trophy case to start your career off.
The very next year, the 2 people going for ROI did over $9 million. So thank God that wasn't my year.
So, thank God you slid in the year you did.
Heck yeah, those guys
Nice,
are
okay.
badasses. Hey, why not? Justin Arness, Brett Frere, badass mother blankers. So
Yeah, they did
get them
good.
on this podcast if you want to talk about greatness. Thank God they were not in my rookie year.
Well, good deal. Well, we're going to step away for a quick minute, take a break, refresh your beer, and we're going to come back, and I really want to talk about where you're at now, what you've built, and really the team and what you got going for you. So we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, welcome back. We are here with Zach Ryan on the Greatness Podcast, and he's been sharing a story of where he's at today. So,
Is it weird if I make you say what that means? What's the Greatness Podcast? I don't think we've heard that yet.
that's
what's a
good.
Greatness
Just going to
Podcast?
interrupt you right in the middle of
I
this
love
crap.
it. No. So it's a podcast around realtors and lenders, really
Okay, so
focused more in
specifically-
our region. Yes,
Okay.
specifically realtors and lenders. They're just doing great things in the industry. That's really setting themselves apart. So,
Okay.
we are
Greatness is a wild term. That's why I asked.
it's greatness. Yes,
It's
something to strive
that's
for.
incredibly flattering.
Keeps you running. Something to run for. But yes, that's what it's about. So that's what this was designed for. But we've been talking about how you got into real estate, what you did your first couple years, your trophy case,
Yeah, I think we left off first calendar year.
first, second calendar year. But now I want to talk about where we're at today, because as we're sitting here, like I mentioned at the beginning, we're sitting in Loomis, California, which everyone knows is near and dear to my heart. This is where I grew up.
Yep.
In a
Wait,
unconventional.
you did what? Let me.
I grew up. No,
Can we
okay.
consult
I
your co-host
aged.
here?
I aged in Loomis. Is that
It's
better?
where you
I
got
aged
more
in Loomis.
gray.
Yes,
More gray.
I aged in Loomis. But we're sitting in an unconventional real estate office, right? I mean, it's in a
warehouse.
a warehouse area of
cool,
Loomis, and it is fantastic. And I know the first time I came in, I pegged
Fantastical, I think, is what we use.
magical.
Fantastical.
It's magical.
It's those
But
two words.
Fantastical. No.
I think the first time I came in here, I can't remember if you brought up, but I know I was thinking it. Rob Dyrdek Fantasy Factory.
Oh, 100%.
And you actually said that's what you were going for. So you pegged it pretty well as we're sitting
Well.
on the second story bar floor of Ryan Real Estate Group.
I assume Rob's listening, and if so, we're not there yet. And we know Rob. We know. I appreciate you being a fan.
Yeah.
Of course.
I know he's a fan of Eric here.
No, but let's talk about where you're at now and kind of your current team, what you're doing in real estate, and really that image you're putting out there, because I think it's a unique image, and I know it's a planned unique image. You're trying to be. You have a motto. It's unconditional. Please share your motto with us.
Yes. So let me take a second and kind of, I guess, tell you where shit hit the fan. So, because what's funny is we landed in the last segment here with things going well, and we are today where things are going well. So in between, shit hit the fan wildly. If I'm again, I don't, am I allowed to say that? I said it so a few times.
There you go.
So
Wait till you see the word I use over it. That's going to sound really unique. And it's going to sound like you're saying it's
good,
fun.
good. I hope
we'll have
that's
fun
good.
with it.
Like, what was that? The late show with Craig Ferguson. I don't know what was it, Bazinga or whatever it would say that they would put over him every time. It was great. So anyway, again, he's also listening. I'm sure I've heard he's a huge fan of this show.
Huge
lot of
fan.
it,
So Craig Ferguson, appreciate it. You and Rob Dyrdek, near and dear to our hearts. Anyway, let's drop another name, Ellen DeGeneres. So that's who I was at the end of the last segment. So people get confused by that. I like to say I was dressing like Ellen DeGeneres. So chinos and a polo. I was driving a Camaro 6-cylinder that I bought, right? Like trying to play this part of your traditional real estate agent. And in theory, it worked, right? So 5 million. So 4.5 was top 10%. So I don't know what. Maybe I'm top 9 at that, right? So not too bad. Hated it. Freaking hated my life. So I got into this for freedom and to enjoy my life. And I was working so hard to be something that wasn't me.
Just the mold you thought it was?
Yeah, what I thought I had to be, right? Like I grew up like everyone else. Like you see a real estate agent as a leased BMW in a suit or whatever the hell, right? So, and then on top of that, my focus was, I got married. I love my wife. I wanted to build a family. And so, I mean, just super transparent. We were struggling with infertility. And so I'm trying to be successful to build a family. So when everyone around you is telling you you're successful, but you don't enjoy what you're doing and you can't build a family, we were struggling. It was brutal. So right after I hit all those goals, I spent the next 6 months drinking beer and throwing cans at my goats. If those of you who don't know, it's actually for sale right now. Hey, 2 acres, Citrus Heights, super nice.
Nice plug.
Yeah, a little plug, right?
Real-time plug.
3 bed, 2 bath, 1,400 square feet, detached unit, 2 acres. But at the time, my wife worked, so I had a lot of freedom, and it was like, why am I doing this? Like the whole point was for freedom, and I'm not happy. So that was a big struggle of mine, and I hired a full-time business coach. So Wayne Solomons, another big fan of this podcast, I am sure. Everyone loves this podcast. So I hired him, and he gave me permission to quit trying to be what I thought I had to be and to be me and share it more. So any of you who hear this that have followed me on social media will probably grasp that about 3 years ago is when you probably caught wind of me. That's when I learned to share the authentic me online, so I didn't have to put forward a front in person at things like open houses or other things and pretend to be something I wasn't.
Are you active online before the 3 year where you started to become more authentic?
Very minimal.
Okay, so you kind of stuck to yourself. You weren't.
He basically said, "Hey,
proud
you
of
don't."
who you were being. So you
He
didn't
said,
wanna-
"Hey, you don't have to play that game anymore. If you let people see the real you, you'll attract them to you."
Yeah.
So you can't do both. You can't say I'm not going to do open houses. I'm not going to be out there. I'm not going to be in front of people, and I'm not going to put myself out online. That equals death, right? No one knows who you are, and no one hires you.
Yeah.
But you can say, hey, I'm not going to play the games anymore that the industry says I have to do, but I'm going to put myself out there. And what I learned is that, I'm 30. I'll be 31 in May. A lot of my demographic, they remember when their parents or whoever else got ripped off in, 2008, around then, by people in suits and leased Mercedes. It's a front. They didn't know those people. People that come in and meet with us at Ryan Real Estate Group, they know us. And that's what has led to our success over the last couple of years.
Okay.
If they run into me at Winco, I look the same as I do when they meet me in the office.
That's
And
good.
I don't want it to be viewed as unprofessional. But even like just these last couple days, my brokerage, Realty One Group Complete, Greg McClure, shout out, what? Awesome place. I'm on their $1 million club or whatever for the last month. And it's this sea of very professional headshots. And in the very middle of it, there's me with my red, white, and blue branded ball cap, my sunglasses, and smiling, right?
Just
And
got
it's
off the
like
wakeboard. Yeah, I
just
love that
breaking
picture.
the mold, right? And it's not even about breaking the mold; it's about being authentic. And I just think that so many people in the firm, right? So if you guys are listening, you don't know that term. It's like financial planning, insurance, real estate, mortgage, the firm.
know it well.
I mean, that's your bread and butter for like your networking groups. There's this myth that you have to be something. You have to look a certain way, and Eric doesn't buy into that shit. I mean, he's T-shirts and flat bills just like I am, and we believe what you have to do is give a damn about people and meet them where they are and help people. And I don't know. It's like, fuck the image. I don't know. So that one's got to be against the rules. Damn it. Say who cares about the image and be yourself. So that was a huge transition for me. So that was a really long answer to a really short question.
It's a great
That's great.
perspective on this.
Yeah.
Now, was that business coach? And I can't remember his name that you said you hired.
Wayne Solomons,
Was he
Hero Nation.
Is he specialized in the real estate industry,
So
or
he-
is he more just a business coach in
He
general?
was a bold coach for Keller.
Okay, so it
They
is
might
real
not
estate
love me
focused.
saying that. No, he was 30 under 30. He's a badass. He's super awesome.
Yeah.
He is like, I bet he's at least 5'8" of just fury.
Nice.
Hey, Wayne, if you're listening, you'll love that. No,
Okay, that's
awesome friend to
That's a
this
good
day.
perspective and good
Awesome
advice.
freaking friend to this day. And what he gave me permission to do was be myself. So I had a meeting. I'm just going to keep with the shout outs. I had a lunch with my dad this week. Asked me about some business things. And he asked me about my coaching experience. I told him, I said, most coaching is about helping you come to conclusions you already knew. It's not about teaching you anything, most general business coaching.
Yeah.
Because it's general. It's about helping you uncover what you already know about yourself. I mean, literally, they might ask you questions like, hey, I get it. You don't know what to do next. If you did know what to do next, what would that be?
And you answer their question.
And you're like, shit, I know the answer to that. How did they do that?
You're masterful.
It's like a,
Yeah.
what were we talking about earlier? Ninjago.
Yeah.
It's like we're back at Legoland. Some of you guys, I don't think we were recording at that point. But anyway, so, Wayne is an incredible coach. He's out of Dallas, and I'm just going to keep doing it. Straight 8 barbecue in DFW. Oh, my God. If Wayne's coaching sucked, that would have still been worth it when I went out there for the training because we went to Straight 8 barbecue. And it was unfreaking real. So, Wayne, if you hear this, tag Straight 8 barbecue.
I like the shout outs, man.
I-
A lot of
going
shout outs
for
are
it.
I love
coming.
it.
This is
I'm like, if
nice.
someone comes to my name, I just,
I'm sitting
my
here thinking,
mind, I got to go for it.
When we post this
You're gonna
podcast,
tag every
how many
one of
tags? I
these
mean, it's gonna
people.
be quite the
Prove
list
it
of
rough.
tags.
Well,
yeah.
you got Cy Robinson, right? For our,
Oh, we
he's
sure do. Doug
overseeing the
Dynasty.
whole
He's number
podcast
one.
up in here.
Doug Dynasty's rocking.
Oh
in
yeah.
there, yes.
Hey, Jack.
No, that's great. That's great advice. And I know from my standpoint, someone that's in the firm industry, as you said, you definitely do stick out, right? I mean, you do.
And you're
It's-
looking firm.
in a good way.
I gotta
No.
say, I haven't seen you in a while. You're looking pretty firm.
Thank you.
Looking good.
I appreciate that. I would disagree, but I do appreciate that. No, so I think it's worked well, and it's helped you, create the brand. And even though you're, squeezing a stress ball a million miles a second,
He must have just
you're
gotten
relatively
really
happy.
stressful
Would we agree with
texts.
that?
Yeah, I mean, I might have ADD. I don't know.
Yeah.
We come from an era we didn't diagnose that
No,
stuff
no.
so quick. So, like I say, my wife is a kindergarten teacher. I'm sure she knows. You can ask her. She'll diagnose me with everything under the sun.
But it's refreshing, though, honestly, to see people like yourself being authentic to yourself, because I think everybody struggles with that when you get in this industry. I got in it when I was 20, and it was like you have to look a certain way, do a certain thing, and I was like, that's not me.
That was like a year ago, right?
No, we're actually almost the same again. I'm gonna be 29 in May, so
I can't tell you apart.
yeah, I know we look so much alike.
I completely agree. I have
Yeah.
a closet full of suits that I just know how much I spent on them, so I cannot throw them away. But I also cannot tell you the last time I've worn them. So
Amen.
same thing. I went through that, got in this industry, and
How long have you had the beard? We're
What?
gonna do a beard segment. How long you had it?
Oh, it's been a while. So I know for a fact my youngest daughter, who is 5, will be 6 in June, has not seen me without a beard. So
Wow.
I'm at least 6 straight years with not having a beard. And then there was times where I would, shave it, and then
Has it been longer
immediately.
than it is now?
No, it's probably at one of its maximum lengths right
Because
now.
you've probably seen, I got to non-PC but hobo levels for a while there. It got aggressive.
I mean, that's where I kind of
That was like a severe
It's like what you
rebellion.
tweeted.
That's where I
like
kind of
when
went with
you
the
met me.
mountaineering comment. I mean, I kind of put two and two together. And I
That
went,
was like I
I
was
went,
having
did this
a
guy?
severe rebellion against
This
what
guy
I was
just
supposed to be.
Pacific Crest Trail, the 2,200 miles.
I had people tell me that were like, "Hey, if you cut your beard, you get more business," and that just made me want to grow it.
Grow
So
it
like,
longer.
I hit to date the highest of my career was at the highest of the beard as well. Which
Dang.
I hope your wife
honestly, I got tired
isn't.
of it, and I've trimmed
The
it
beard's
down.
a
And
powerful
this
thing.
year, I'm well on track. I'll
beard's a
beat the
powerful
record
thing.
without the. I mean, I have a beard, but without the big beard. But it actually was kind of annoying because you want to trim it, and then people like dog you of like, oh, you can't be in that business with a beard, and you're like, oh, watch me.
this.
In fact, okay, let's do it again. Jay Argo, good freaking buddy of mine,
Hashtag
real
Jay
estate
Argo.
agent with a wonderful, look him up. Jay Argo, I hope you hear this. Wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous beard. Awesome man of integrity, loves investing in guys. He works in the recycling industry is a bad term. So like, they take, it's not just a junkyard, it's where they specifically part out stuff and really help make things come back alive. And
that's
he
cool.
is a pro, and he invests in the lives of the guys he has.
Nice.
And he and I work together, and I had the opportunity, the blessing of helping a client that came to him because he didn't have time because he's so busy with what he's doing there. But, we connected solely on beards
Yeah.
in real estate. Straight up, solely on beards. And then
Power.
here I trim my beard. And poor, Jay still trusted me. But I just think that, I don't know, we're brothers from another mother in a way that we have the same mentality of like, it's about integrity and trusting people, not about some sort of bullshit image you put
Facade.
forward.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it's
Agreed.
true.
I told you I'm going to talk too much. We're gonna
No, I love it. I love it.
It's the
So
truth.
let's fast forward a little bit to your current. Let's fast forward to currently where we're at now.
Yeah.
And I know before we started this, you were talking about, you had an idea and you were very purposeful on how you were building this from the beginning. I know you use like a restaurant terminology that you wanted to build it and scale it to what you want it to become, not what it currently was. So you're already like your bandwidth within your organization can already do so much more than you guys are already doing, which is a great amount of business. So just, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit on your current snapshot of your team. I know, you have a team here, a bunch of talented agents. And just kind of share what's going on here, man. You got a lot of good things happening. Just a little insight on that.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of the restaurant analogy, like you said. So a
I liked it.
restaurant doesn't get to say we're going to have 2 tables and chairs and 3 menu items, and as we grow, we'll expand, right? They've got to build the whole place out. They have to offer the whole menu. They have to offer the full tables and roll the dice and see what happens. And I think so often in business, we are tempted by the idea of wanting to just inchworm forward, wait for it to grow, then we'll expand. And people get stuck because it just doesn't happen that way.
Well, let me hold you. We're going to catch that thought. We're going to take a short break as we do a little battery change out here, and then we'll be right back. So let's just pause that. All right, welcome back. So I know we were in the middle of we had a little technical difficulty, but we're in the middle of talking about the restaurant analogy, 2 tables, full menu, having to build it out to what it was going to become.
Yeah, Reader's Digest, right? So I decided to dive in full-fledged. One of the main things that helped me do that was COVID. So we had a couple of offices at my broker's office. Again, Realty One Group Complete, Greg McClure, another tag and shout out. They are freaking awesome. We are so stoked to be backed by them. But with the COVID stuff, he had to do what he had to do. And we understand that. And that really propelled me to grow.
Okay.
So I had this dream, kind of like you said, of a almost a fantasy factory, Rob Dyrdek style kind of a thing, a lifestyle. So another tag, Sean Whalen, How to Make Shit Happen is his book. That's been someone I followed. I've been in some of his coaching programs. Sean, I swear, I've given you money. He posted the other day about people that just creep on it and never get involved. And I hear you. I hear you with that, buddy. But I've been there. I was in the Lions Den for a while. And one of the number one things, it's funny, that I wanted in this place was a shower. And that sounds weird and inappropriate, but it's not weird and inappropriate. It's that I wanted to be able to have, I love mountain biking, and I suck at it, and I don't go anywhere near as much as I should. So people that are like, he doesn't love mountain biking, that fat mother. Anyway, I do. When I can go, I love going out mountain biking. You know what's so hard is leaving my house, going mountain biking out at the Granite Bay Trails, getting back home, getting showered, and getting to work. Or in the afternoon, right, in the spring or in the fall, going in the middle of the day, but then you got to get showered to get back to work. I wanted the shower at the office. I wanted to be able to build a lifestyle where clients, not clients, whew, that's a little weird, where team members, right? Exactly. That's a bit much. You're like, hey, yeah, we'll sell you a house and you can shower here. Weird.
Free showers. In my
Weird,
office.
weird, weird. So
Things are
go to
outside.
Eric's office. Eric has client showers. We don't. So that's not true. Maybe. We'll ask him. So the whole point was we wanted to be able to have an active lifestyle. So back to the Sean Whalen thing. He didn't invent this, but it's the whole point is like spiritual health, physical health, relational health, and financial health. Those all have to be in balance. And so we wanted a place. So we have a gym here. We have a bar here.
Yeah.
We have an event space for our clients. We have office space, podcast space, everything in
Biggest
one
American flag.
one freaking room. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It's not made in America. You can all have your stance on that.
It's
Maybe you
beautiful.
make other people make an American flag. I don't know. I won't get into that. It's a big-ass American flag. We're proud to be American. We love our first responders and our military. We love this country. And if you don't love that, we'll still work with you, but don't hate us for it because we will not be kind to that. So we wanted to create a place where people could come and have a well-balanced life and pursue the goals for their family financially and relationally, everything else.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a good job of that because I know it's, from what I see, your team, they seem pretty inspired, very happy.
And ripped. If you've seen Matt Welling or Jeremy
I
Lay,
have not lately.
ripped.
Because of the gym
Wrecked.
here, I would assume.
Because of the gym you have.
Ladies
the
are both
the Koba
currently
gym.
taken. Get on the waiting list.
Oh, nice. Well, good. So I know you guys are doing fantastic right now as a team.
Fantastic Cole. I
That's
corrected
right.
you on that
Sorry.
earlier.
That's right. I forget. I know the market is something like no one's ever seen right now. Incredibly hot.
The market's terrible, but I'll tell you this: if it helps you understand, me myself, my house is for sale. I'm in escrow to purchase a home. I'm not just talking theory. I'm in practice. So we are every single agent here is a full-time, 60-hour-a-week agent. If you think there's such thing as 40-hour a week, you're crazy.
That's nice. That's nice. But where do you see the market going? I love to get this opinion from people in the industry.
Yeah.
Obviously, I see what people post. I see the 75 offers, 100,000 over. I have friends that have been looking for houses and can't ever find one. They've been a year searching because they get outbid on every house. Where do you I mean, it can't be sustainable in my opinion, but I don't know. And where do you see this going over the next 12 months?
So I'm
Just
not
a quick
afraid.
snapshot.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to give an opinion, which I think a lot of people in this industry
Okay.
are, and that's how I think that we're maybe a little bit different. So, I mean, I'll give a caveat, right?
Okay.
Everyone's situation is different, and we have data to help you figure out your situation. So our opinion's worthless. You know, they say that an opinion is like a rear end. Everyone has one, right?
Yes.
I'll be polite.
I like it.
So don't listen to our opinion. Come meet with us and let us show you the data and you decide for yourself. But I'm willing to give a broad stroke and say that there's a lot of reasons why we don't see this coming down anytime soon.
Okay.
I would encourage everyone to go watch The Big Short.
Yeah.
I think it's still on Netflix last I knew. Understand what happened last time and how it's not happening this time.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, most of everyone on my team, I'm 30, almost 31. We're almost all the same age. We're in this for the next 30 years. We're more interested in helping you win than forcing you into a sale today.
Sure.
So meet with us, and we're going to help you plug in. And our answer might be you should wait. And we will sure as hell tell you that because let's pretend we don't care about you at all. If you're stoked with your purchase, we're going to get more referrals out of you for the next 3 and 5 years than if you're mad at us later because we misled you. So
Sure.
honestly, we care. We really care. We have a culture here that cares. But if we don't give a damn about you, selfishly, we should be doing a great job for you. And so just come talk to us.
Yeah, I think that's good. Seems like you guys are taking great care of
I don't want to
that.
be a non-answer, although
No, I think that's good. I think
and
that's good.
short summary is if you're waiting
You
for
think
the
the market's gonna
crash,
stay hot?
you better come talk to us. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, okay, that's
I think most people will say that, like what
I've
we've
heard that a
talked to.
lot,
Is
yeah.
like
I
yeah.
myself am not selling and renting. I'm selling and buying. So let that speak volumes.
Right.
True. And you're moving up too.
Yes, and I offered 10% over.
you're- yeah.
It took me 10% over
You're not
list to get in the
downsizing.
contract.
You're upsizing.
I'm upsizing.
So you're going-
and I
you're-
went way over list.
Yeah, you're basically
Straight
sliding
up.
more into the pot into this thing. So
If you want to bring
You're doubling
pot into
down.
this, I guess,
I was using a poker
In fact, here
analogy.
comes Snoop. Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah.
Snoop's not here.
Well, good. So
All right, Willie,
what
I
is the
mean,
best
Eric.
what is the best way for people to get a hold of you? Besides social media, you're everywhere. You guys do post a lot, which is fantastic.
I mean, you can text me.
Okay.
916-367-8917.
We should all
Boom.
just do a group text.
Yeah.
I might do a drip
Yeah,
campaign.
text
to
me
that
up.
text, a 30-day, 30 text.
I mean, let's be
drip
real.
campaign.
Like, it's, we were talking about this before. Our phones are our computers.
Sure.
Yep.
I care about people. I love people. Text me and you're going to hear from me.
Well, good deal. Well, my friend, I really, really appreciate the time. I appreciate you coming on today. Like I said, I've been a fan of what you're doing and your team, and I know you guys are doing great things in this industry, and I look forward to continued success for you, man.
100, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
That's just me.
Yeah, and Bree. So thank you for listening, and that's another episode of the Greatness Podcast. Thank you, and have a great day.